What's up, guys? These 5 new computers are going to drastically change the way I do business, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Stay tuned. Alright, so one of the main things that I actually have issues with in my business is that I get too much of it sometimes. So the remedy for that is actually purchasing these computers that will do some of the work for me, or just allow me to do more of my work. So I jumped on eBay and actually purchased 5 Lenovo ThinkCenters. And they're nothing fancy, they're just a Core i5 7th gen Intel processor. But the amount of lift that they will do for me is incredibly high. Basically what I'm trying to do here is set up 5 data recovery rigs. And what that means is I will no longer have to clog up the works of my main PC here trying to recover people's files. When drives come in that are broken and old, say for example this one here, this Western Digital 1 terabyte, this is a hard drive. It's old. Manufacturing date is 2014. So things like that tend to run really slow, take a lot of time, and if I need the PC to do video edits or other things related to my business, I can't usually use it because they'll actually freeze up the machine for a long period of time. So my method of madness here, if you bear with me, is that I am going to install SSDs in every one of these. And I was able to keep it really cheap. Actually was able to get Patriot Burst SSDs for about $14 a drive, something like that. So this all in all is not anything too crazy. Basically what we're looking at here is $250 for the machines, $100 for the drives. We're looking at $350 in total, and essentially expanded capability in terms of data recovery. Now, here's the breakdown. Here's what I'm going to do for it. I'm making this a part of my Old Tech New Life series, and the reason that I'm doing this is because this tech is, oh gosh, it's 7th gen, so we're 8 years old now on the Intel CPU. This is not even what would qualify as an item for the nonprofit. You know, we only accept computers that are 7 years old or newer because technically they don't run Windows 11. I don't really care. I'm putting Windows 11 on it anyway. Two of the machines, these two here, are going to actually run Ubuntu, because Ubuntu ends up being a little bit more capable when it comes to data recoveries. Sometimes you can put a drive on like this and it won't show at all in Windows, but you put it on, you hook it up to an Ubuntu installation, and instantly you're fine. So all of these drives are very straightforward. The main thing with all of these drives is this, or all these PCs are pretty straightforward. The main thing with all of the drives that are in the PCs are that none of them have drives. Okay, all of these are Wi-Fi capable. However, I'm not going to bother with Wi-Fi capability. And the reason is because I want to be able to remote into every single machine. So every single machine is either going to have a pro version of Windows or Ubuntu installed on it. And so the way that they come apart, there's one screw at the back that's right here. I just took out of this one, and then the top slides off. Now, I wasn't really sure what to expect initially when I bought these because I wasn't certain if it would have an NVMe slot, so I could just buy an NVMe drive, or if it would have a SATA slot for a SATA drive. Turns out it is a SATA slot, so that's why I went with these 2.5-inch drives. They'll all fit perfectly. I don't need anything too crazy in terms of size on the drive. The reason being is that everyone is supposed to be bringing me recovery hardware, and if they're not bringing me recovery hardware, then I just throw their data recovery up on my server that's here, and all of this will be networked to the server as well. So essentially what's going to happen is we're going to go through every one of these machines, and we're going to put our SSDs in the machines, and I'm not going to install all of the OS and everything here. with you guys on camera, but I'll give you an idea of how things work by showing you that I can set up a data recovery remotely from this machine here. Let's see. I think my little clippies are in under the steps. Give me just a second. I'm going to wheel over there. I have a whole box of these. I really should just get out a second pair. Reason I'm wheeling over there is because this has, the seller took really great care of these machines and zip stripped the SATA ribbon cable connector to each of the drive bays here. So I was just able to clip that off. And now these guys look like they're gonna suck to open, but we'll see. Actually, that was incredibly easy. One tiny rip and we're good. All right. So, seeing that that slips in here just like this, the drive needs to be this way, which means when clipped in, it needs to go like this. And the beautiful thing about these little 2.5-inch drives is the flexibility of them, and these little cases that come with them. Now I went with the Lenovo machines just because I was looking for something that was going to be cheaper, and the Lenovo machines for some reason ended up being cheaper. These are the Lenovo Think Centers. If you ever go to your here's a good place that you've probably seen these computers. If you ever go to your doctor's office and you look at the computers that they have sitting there, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna see some kind of big monitor with one of these little things just strapped to the back of it. Okay, so I've got the drive in there and I'm not able to get this pushed back in. Probably just user error here, because it was in there at one point. Obviously. But I don't want to force things where they're not supposed to be either. I mean, in reality, I could just set it in there and it'd be fine. I don't even have to use the drive cradles, but I want to make this, I want this to be a nice setup. I want it to be done correctly, so we're not going to do it cheaply. Alright guys, I'm speeding this section up because while it's interesting to me, it's not going to be interesting to you to watch me install 5 drives in 5 different computers. I showed you one. The other 4, they just take more time, and I just keep blabbing about random crap. So, to save you and spare you, I'm just going to fast forward it so that you guys can listen to my sweet voiceover, but not actually have to deal with listening to me drum on and on about nonsense. So, yeah. Thanks for putting up with me, guys. This is my passion. I know it's not everybody's, but here we go. All right, here's my well-loved Windows 11 USB. And if everything goes as planned, I flip this on, it'll automatically start booting from this, and then I should see it pop into the network after probably about 5 to 10 minutes after the installation has taken place. So we'll turn it on here, and we'll just let it do its thing. Hopefully there's no weird Lenovo stuff and it just automatically boots and detects it. The script, I run an auto unattend script on this Windows 11 USB, and basically how it works is I have it set up to automatically detect Wi-Fi, to automatically log into the network, and then automatically set everything up with a basic user called user, and then name the computer appropriately. So I'll go in and rename the PC after everything's all said and done, just because that's the way I'm going to do things. But spam caller. If you pop up as a spam risk, I'm not going to answer you. But anyway, so that's it for now. I'll come back, and once everything is all done here, I'll give you guys kind of a tour of the OS and how I intend on actually getting this taken care of. Okay guys, first and foremost, I have to say I am really sorry that it's taken me so long to get this next part out. The reason that it has taken me as long as it has is because, well, I finally opened the business full time, as you might have seen on one of my last videos. So without further ado, this is going to be a quick walkthrough of the data recovery setup that I have here. And it's nothing crazy. I only have one of the rigs set up for the time being, because I do still have to purchase a few more small things. And when I say small things, I mean I need drive cradles, basically, to put the 3.5-inch hard drives in, as well as other SSDs, like other SATA SSDs that are M and B key, and then NVMe as well. So let me pause here. I'll flip this around and I'll show you what we're working with. Okay, so as you can see, if you look up here, we've got one of the little Lenovos that's actually fully set up. Now this little Lenovo has connected to it my StarTech drive bay, which does both the 80-pin IDE SATA drives, or 80-pin IDE drives, as well as the SATA drives. And then I've got this little guy right here, which does my NVMe as well as SATA for the M.2 size drives, the form factor. And the way that this works is all of it works remotely. Don't have to have any sort of keyboard or mouse hooked up at all. And as you can see here, I currently even have a data recovery running on this Seagate drive. Well, attempting to run anyway, on this Seagate drive, this 5 terabyte right here. And I can control it all from my workstation that I'm going to turn and show you, but don't judge because it's really messy currently. But over here, so my desk has computers and my battery daddy and all kinds of stuff all over it, just because, well, I've kind of, since going full-time, been living down here basically. But I remote in from that workstation, or I can remote in from that workstation and handle everything that's up here without an issue. Alright guys, so the next part of this that I would really like to show you is basically just the process of using my remote data recovery station here. So it is the next day from when I shot that last part of the video, so I'm drinking some coffee, enjoying the morning here. I do have a customer stopping by in about 8 minutes, so I'm going to make this part really quick. Anyway, so I have all of my desktops here set up so that I can remote into each one of them. What's required to remote into a desktop like this is a professional version of Windows, and that's it. Then you can just use the Windows RDP software. I have decided to go ahead and put my remote connection to this particular desktop as a shortcut down here at the bottom of my screen. So all I really have to do now is press connect, because the name of it is BGTR-DR1. And the name is BGTR-DR1 because it's BG Tech Repair Data Recovery 1. Okay, I'm going to press connect, and you're probably not going to see much of a difference. Okay, it's going to say it can't find it. I'm going to do it again. Usually 3 times is the charm. There we go. And it does that for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't figured that out. The one thing you're going to notice here, and I'm going to do my best to actually scooch my camera setup here so that you guys can see me, see what's going on out of the way, is Basically, at this point, you're noticing a different desktop. You can see I've got some different applications here. I've got uTorrent, ESOS Data Recovery, Acronis, and Xtero FTK Imager. So I use this rig here anytime I have a drive hooked up in those bays that I showed you guys previously, they're going to show up here under this PC. Currently, there are no drives hooked up, so it's not really showing anything. Or if it's a heavily damaged drive, it'll show up, but it'll say needs initialized. And I think, actually, if we go into Disk Manager on this computer, we can see that other drive, and it's just telling us that it needs to be initialized. The reason being is that we're obviously not going to initialize it because that would be terrible. The customer would lose their data, and we don't want to deal with that. That's the 5 terabyte drive. So that's having an issue right now. You can even go into FTK Imager and it shows the drive there, but it just shows as unallocated space, and it's not sure what to do with it. So FTK Imager is a forensic toolkit, and we used to use that at my previous employer whenever we would need to recover data off of a drive. So you can see that the Patriot Burst drive that I put in here is one of them, and the other one here is this J-Micron PCIe SCSI disk device. The reason it says that is because it's actually just reading the drive in the StarTech bay. So basically what you're seeing is just the StarTech bay. And so nothing is there. It's saying a physical drive. There's nothing in here at all whatsoever. So that's why that drive needs to be sent off to our clean room data recovery partners in Florida. uTorrent is for downloading images. I'll do that. And then ESOS Data Recovery is for, it's a data recovery utility I use. And then the other one is Acronis TrueImage, which that one I actually use for cloning drives. So if you're going from, say, a SATA drive over to an NVMe, I clone that. And then I actually have one more application on here that I use. It's not pinned to my desktop currently, and it's called ESOS Partition Master, I believe. Let's see, ESOS. Oh, maybe that's just on my regular desktop. Anyway, all that to be said, it works, it functions. I fully intend on doing the other ones up as like, I'm going to have BGTRDR 1, 2, and 3, and then the other 2 machines are actually going to be my Linux-based machines for advanced data recovery techniques. So that's it for now, guys. I want to thank you for watching the video. If you ever find old tech like this and you want to give it new life, come visit the channel. You know, this is not something that is terribly difficult to do. Even something like this, if you wanted to run a Plex server at home, and say you've got a whole library of movies and stuff that you want access to on an app anywhere you go, just download Plex, install it on your remote machine like this, and then you can just manage it. And would I recommend Windows for that? Probably not. Windows is not the best OS for Plex, which I'm learning. So when I rebuild that server, that'll be Old Tech New Life, probably part 5 at that point. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Oh yeah, please like and subscribe.